What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be comparing two handguns that I absolutely love. Now I get that a lot of people are going to leave or just click out of the video or not even watch it because one, they're single stacks, two, they're not brand new firearms, so they're not as relevant anymore, and then three, they're in dead calibers or dead rounds. A lot of the comments on my videos say, oh, you love rounds that are dead because I own 45 GAP, own 357 SIG, own 40. You know, dead, yeah, sure, they aren't the most popular, but I enjoy shooting them, and I bought the handguns because I like them. Nothing more, nothing less. It's that simple. And actually, I just ordered 1,000 rounds of 357 SIG the other day, as easy as can be. I kid you not. 45 GAP, as easy as can be to get. Yes, they're dead to a lot of people, but the people who actually own them actually like those rounds. Now, both these handguns, it's actually interesting. I picked up this one for $300, brand new. I picked up this for $300 used, and we're going to get into the story of both of them, what I use them for, what I like about them, and potentially what you guys could get use out of them for too if you find them for a reasonable price like I did. Now this is the M&P 40 Shield Performance Center, right? The Shield is one of the greatest handgun platforms of all time. It's a classic, and Smith & Wesson had a lot better quality control back then, I feel like, but these handguns have been basically flawless. Now this one is the Performance Center. It is the 1.0. So the texturing isn't very good on it. That's one thing I don't like about it. The other thing people don't like is it doesn't have a rail. You can put a TLR6 on this. That will be plenty for any self-defense encounter in the world. I kid you not. The TLR6 is just fine. I don't get why people complain about that. But overall, it is in 40, and it is capacity limited. But it's also a Performance Center. This thing is an awesome trigger, and we're going to get into all of it. Let's start off with that trigger. It's a Performance Center. Yeah, it's the hinge trigger, but it is so crisp, clean, and light. It is so fast. And on top of that, the reason why I like it in 40 is it's ported. That barrel is also ported. So when you're shooting, all your residue, your gases, go at 45s. Instead of coming straight up and blocking your field of view, they go to the side, leaving you a 90-degree angle of view. They work really well compared to compensators and other kind of ports. Now, that's something that's absolutely awesome for $300 with all these features. On top of that, no need for new sights unless you want night sights. I really like these fiber optic sights. Obviously, you have the green up front, protected by a lot of metal, which is nice, and then you have the red in the rear, and it's just a really nice sight picture. The finish is really nice on it, although the 1.0 does have a worse finish than the 2.0, but it holds up just fine. Barrel wear is common on Smith & Wessons. It's pretty much the same across the board. No forward serrations, but honestly, if you're complaining about forward serrations, who cares? I mean, like, come on, who cares? Use the rear ones. It's not that big of a deal. Last but not least, the capacity is 7+1 with a Mag Guts kit. Yes, I have an aftermarket base plate, but you can use the Mag Guts kit, and that'll be 7+1 of 40. And then they also make a 7-round mag that sits down here, and those are your options. Now, the thing is so dang thin. It's one of the thinnest 40s. Now, the Walther PPS, there was a 40. The XDS was in 40, but all those have been discontinued. I believe the M&P 40 Shield is still in production, but the 2.0. So you can still get a very thin, small pistol that's able to be pocket carried in the right pants in 40. And I absolutely love this thing. Now, recoil-wise, yes, it's snappy, it's thin, it's light, it's small, and it's in 40. It's a little bit snappy, but the thing rips. I absolutely love shooting it. I love learning it. It's been an awesome handgun to me, and for $300, it's one of those handguns that I can carry all the time. I can beat up, I can train, all sorts of stuff, and it doesn't affect me. I'm not going to lie. YouTube has a lot of perfect people who train, right? When I've trained, I've dropped my FN 503 on concrete. It was embarrassing. I felt like crap about it, but then I realized, that's part of training. I've had times where I go to draw, my pistol gets caught up on my shirt. I go to draw, I don't get my shirt the right way. I've had so many mistakes while training, but that's how you get better. Just like plumbing, I've learned the most and never make the same mistakes again after I made a mistake. So it is what it is. That's just part of growth, and it's part of training. So I'm all for that. So having a cheaper handgun that doesn't really hurt as much if you hit it on stuff, bang it on stuff, drop it on stuff, whatever the case may be, it honestly feels a little bit better. And the thing just runs. Not a single hiccup, not a single issue. I absolutely love this thing. I don't have a problem with the hinge trigger. I know people don't like it, but paired with the Performance Center model, this thing has been absolutely great. I absolutely love this thing. For $300, I mean, how can anyone complain? It may not be your first choice. It may not be your main or what you're looking for, But when you see deals like this and for so cheap, you know it's a great handgun, you know it's reliable. Really, with 7+1 8 rounds, you're not going to get yourself out of a defensive situation. 78% of self-defense encounters, you literally just have to say you have a firearm. That's it. No shots fired. The other 22, actually it's 82% and 18. So 82% of the time, no shots fired. You say you have a firearm or they see it. The other 18% shots are fired, and it usually is between 3 to 5 shots. So 7+1 of 40 or 7+1 of 357 SIG, in my opinion, is awesome. Now, certain areas, in the cities, sometimes you have to go to bad areas for kids events or whatever the case may be. There's all sorts of things. Yes, you want more capacity, but for the average everyday citizen who lives in a decent area or an okay area, this will be plenty. But anyways, that takes me to my work carry. The M&P40 Shield. It's literally the same handgun. I can take this conversion barrel out and put it in here. I just wouldn't be able to use the port, so that's why I have it. Anyways, this handgun is obviously not ported, so you do feel the recoil to its fullest, and I'm going to explain some things I've done to it and stuff like that when it comes to recoil. But no ports either, so you do feel that 357 SIG conversion 100%. Now, 357 SIG is a little bit more expensive. It is what it is. You can't find it at your average gun store, but online it is everywhere. It's plentiful, and people rarely buy it. People don't like it anymore. They don't use it, but 357 SIG, when it really comes down to it, is one of the most reliable rounds. Not only does it have power, but it's one of the most reliable rounds out there because of its bottleneck build. It's basically a 9mm projectile with a 40 size casing and amount of powder. So that thing absolutely rips. Now, people always say, why not just the Shield Plus or the Shield and 9mm? Well, if I do get in a defensive situation, I want the most amount of firepower going the opposite direction. And for work, I need something small and that I can pocket carry with. I pocket carry in a Vetter pocket locker holster, and it fits all my Carhartt pants just fine. So that is the setup I use. Like I said, 7+1 with mag guts. You can see that gold. That means the mag guts kit. 7+1 of this thing, and that's plenty for me. I'm good with it. I train with it. I shoot with it, and it rips. This one, I did have to upgrade the sights, though. I have a U-notch rear with a 3-dot white outline. There's the U. There's the sight picture itself. Really nice white on these. They're like $45. I lowballed someone on eBay, and we ended up negotiating, and that's how I got these sights, and they work great. Back plate, just, it is what it is. It was cheap. And then this base plate right here from NDZ really locks your fingers in there, even though this finger sits a little further out. But it feels good in the hand, very shootable, and you can control that 357 SIG recoil. Is 357 SIG more powerful than 9? Of course it is. Will it do more out of a short barrel? It might. There's a chance it actually might. So that is why I like the most amount of firepower. If I'm only going to be letting off 5 rounds, I'd rather have 5 rounds of 357 SIG or 5 rounds of 40 than 9mm. I'm just being honest with you guys. Other than that, there's one more thing. A lot of recoil is controlled by the ports, but also that grip texturing and getting an awesome purchase on this firearm, as well as that base plate. I've sort of designed these perfect for recoil reduction, right? Obviously, you lose a little bit of velocity out of here, but you lose a lot of recoil as well. Plus having the grips, plus having the base plate to lock your fingers in there, you get an awesome purchase on this handgun for an awesome shot. And these are from NDZ. This right here, I did something similar. Because this is imported, a hoe grip actually helps with recoil, not just with your grip, but actually absorbing some of that felt recoil. And on top of that, the NDZ base plate. So everything is locked in there on that hoe grip, and this is your major recoil reduction system on this pistol. Now, which one shoots flatter? I think this actually shoots less flat than this, but I think it's because it's 357 SIG. It's a little less recoil in my opinion. Both are great shooters, very comparable. I love them both. I carry this with me 55 to 60 active hours working. That's not even driving to the work site, driving home, whatever the case may be. I carry this also outside of work. So this thing gets a lot of holster time, and I feel perfectly comfortable, safe. I feel like I have a reliable handgun, a reliable platform, a reliable round, and it eats all my defensive ammo that I use. So I have nothing to complain about these handguns. That's why I think they're still relative. Now, do they have the most capacity? No. Are they optics ready? No. But we're talking self-defense. Just good working pistols made in America for the average American. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.